excuse for you not to tune in. Hey, my name is LadyJ, and I'm the owner of LadyJ Media, Buddafly Entertainment. Now, don't go anywhere because we have some really great shows coming up for you. I'd like to invite you to be a part of LadyJ Media. If you want to have a show, let me know. My number is 443-297-4753, or you can email me at ladyjwub@gmail.com. That's ladyjwub@gmail.com.
Do you remember how your love story
Butterfly, because you never know where she's going to land.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, I can't complain, but I'm still a man, a black man I am. They keep me going, my life was in gold. It's like I was chosen and there's no opposing. I understand the mission, but can't see a vision. Pew in the system smells like something's missing. That old intuition, take the kids fishing. Anything so they listen before they make a decision that puts them in prison. The cycle was real, your uncles come out, your nephews go in, you will.
Hello. My name is John Hansboro. Good to see you. This is Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. Glad to be back. Good to see you all. Hope everyone is having a good week. Obviously, this is Black History Month. So this is a very special month in poetry to me. Got some good things for you guys lined up for the show tonight. I'm going to be sharing some of my poetry, of course. And then I want to tell you guys about a few poets that you may never even heard before. You know, by this being Black History Month, there's a lot of wonderful Black poets, Afro-American poets out there that were, out there before we were all even thought of. You're talking as early as 1711. Also, I have a treat for you all tonight. My sister Chantia Jackson will be with us tonight, sharing some of her pieces. She is an awesome poet and storyteller, wonderful actress as well. My sister is a very, very humble person. When I first started this Spitfire venture, she was there with me from the beginning, from the whole way through, still rocking with me. So I definitely appreciate her for that. Remember, as always, my book Unusual Favor is on Amazon and on all of the social media platforms out there. You can find the link for that book. And also my book, Spitfire Poetry Shutdown Volume 1, is also on Amazon, that you can get on Amazon. I have a part 2 of that coming up soon. All right. I have a part 2 of that book coming up soon. So I'm very happy about that. I just want to thank everybody for supporting me. You guys are wonderful. You really have no idea. I can't thank you enough for the support, the kind words, and encouragements, and things like that. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Hello, Chantia. All right, we're going to have my sister on in just a minute. I think she's calling in. All right. So let's go ahead and start off with a quick poem.
It's on, John. I'm sorry.
Oh, she's on?
Yes, she is.
Hey, Chantia, how you doing?
Hey, John, how are you?
I am wonderful, sis. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you.
It's great to hear your voice.
I hope you're being safe out there.
I sure am. I'm certain that you are as well.
Absolutely. You know that. Absolutely. Look, I was just letting everybody know that, when I started this Spitfire journey, you were there with me from the beginning. You gave me very encouraging words and was always there to have my back. And I really do appreciate that. You know, I say it all the time off the air, but I really want to acknowledge that. By this being Black History Month, I just had to have someone like you on. You're a great storyteller and a poet, one of my favorites. And it is also, your birthday was just a few days ago, right?
Yes, it was. I definitely just celebrated a new year.
That is wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear. All right, well, we're going to get right into it, Chantia. So I believe you have a couple poems you wanted to share with us tonight, or are you doing a story? Which one are you doing?
I have a few selections of poetry. They're sort of like poetry combined with spoken word and combined a little bit with, rhyming a bit as I do. So a little bit of monologue-ish, things with spoken word, poetry, monologue flow. Mm-hmm.
Sounds wonderful, sis. All right, well, whenever you're ready, we're ready to go. So this is Chantia Jackson.
Please say that again.
I said, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, John, for having me on. I really appreciate this. And of course, it's such a pleasure to support, my brothers, in the world. A lot of my work over this time of the pandemic has certainly been dedicated to uplifting women and Black boys who will be one day men, and just sort of going through some recourses with how there's a lot of division between men and women, whether in relationship, out of relationship, working relationships. There's sort of, this back and forth warring going on. So I liked the time that I had last year and also into this year, sort of dissecting that and examining it a bit more and sort of taking responsibility as a woman to do my part, to serve the men that I know, like you, who every day strive for mastery, within their art form, within their chosen field, and within their family. So it's been a pleasure for me to be indoctrinated with that, pursuit, during this time. So this first piece is called Safe Place. I wrote it in thoughts of a young boy growing into a man and a woman's placement in his life. Again, this is called Safe Place.
Okay.
Birthed you, gave you your name. I give you shelter. When they offer you your grave, I give you permission to never walk in shame. I teach you the relevance, never passing the blame. I washed your face from the stains of nourishment. I kiss your wounds after life's many punishments. The judgments they pass are softened by my warmth. Your blanket, your pillow, you may go forth. Enter into your inheritance. Never mind them for forsaking your mistaken your strength for arrogance. Cherubim, my angel, my Orisha, my God, my warrior, my knight. You are never the fraud. I applaud your triumphs, your failures too. There is nothing in this world that you cannot do. Pursue your endeavors with a victor spirit. Make your movements so loud whole continents can hear it. And if they fear it, that's the devil's plight. Your mission is to conquer, seek to go to highest heights. When they prosecute your body, they persecute your mind, taking away visions of heaven, making you forget you're divine. I remind you of the kingdoms you once roamed. Lord, over all the lands, everywhere is your home. I help you choose your path before you reached your first teacher, a prophet. I taught you your speech. When you uttered your first word, I was there to witness, gave you context, provided syntax. There is no measure to your intelligence. You're never alone because you have me, the water bearer, the supplement, the real given tree. I will repeat myself for the sake of understanding. With me, there's no gerrymandering. I elect you in every cycle, my vote on repeat. King is your title. With us, there's no such thing as defeat. We retreat to our land where we build our nation, somewhere I can enjoy only your kind of penetration, not just a sensation, but a bliss undefined. Art in motion, a ribbon in the sky. Your kingdom has come within the realms of who I am. I see you, I feel you. Give me your hand. Let us marry under the stars and be baptized with unity. Our love is what gives you true immunity. You will never be infected with the poison that kills. Big dog, my homie, throw some food on the grill. Interactions that keeps you aligned, shackled in order because you are sublime. You're the beneficiary of my internal earth. I am the synagogue, the mosque, the church. I am the sorter. The scripture that reads, I am a sacred pathway to all of your needs. Indeed, I am a river, the ocean blue. I surrender all of me to have only you. You encapsulate my being with the fragrance of passion. Every encounter, every kiss, every time satisfaction. I cherish your tone and your tears. I listen every time you describe your fears. My arms await the precious gift of you. Come here, your dwelling place. You're well overdue. Thank you.
That's absolutely awesome. You know, it's very fitting that I have you on with it being Black History Month because you're so, you know, when you speak, I feel it so much. You're so certain and strong in your wording. I think it's absolutely wonderful. Can you let me know real fast what inspired you to write that?
Well, that came out of, as I said, a lot of my new pieces. These are new works, actually preparing me to also write a book of poetry and spoken word monologues as well. But this specifically was birthed from, the intoxicating madness that we're always hearing about our Black men and Black boys' lives being taken so prematurely. By, police murder, and just the system itself, the judicial system, and the governmental system as well that doesn't characterize Black men and Black boys as viable assets to the world and to our society here, in America, also abroad. So just, the highlighting of Black Lives Matter and the highlighting of police I don't call it brutality. I call it police violence and murder. And how, again, we were just bombarded with it so much last year. And we had so much time to really look at it for more than just a story. These are not stories to me. It's something that I carry with me all the time. And as a teacher of almost 20 years this year, I particularly have a very fine and fond interest in boys growing into men, and how it is very imperative, for love to be a part of their journey as well, and protection. And we talk about that as much, protection by way of love, not just by way of, a physical sort of extension, of making sure that someone feels safe. And that, the title of it is Safe Place, because I do believe that the safest place, for a Black man is with a woman, and within her home, the home that she provides for her family. It's nowhere in the world that he'll ever find a sacred belonging besides with her. So that's where that came from.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing, Chantia. Wow. I mean, I don't even know what to say after that. I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear what you're about to do next. I really can.
This next piece is called Astronomical Flex. So this was sort of birthed also out of a conversation that I always have actually with men and women separately or together, whether they're just friends or good passerbys or people I just meet out in the world. just about the real meeting of each other, that there is a divine order, for love. And there is a divine order for not only love within relationships, but love just between each other, just finding, that pathway to get back to honoring each other and respecting each other. And again, me taking responsibility as a woman to do my part. So this was birthed out of that. Again, astronomical flex. I'm astronomically flexing, gliding through the 5 stratospheres, going beyond the casual bullshit texting, the perplexing and the stressing, head pounding. That's incredibly depressing. From the clinical to the spiritual, the perpetual masking. Where's the healing prose? I have the remedy. It's sad that it's always too late for them to see. The blind leading the blind, that's a forever prescription. Even though Mad Stories got the same depiction of the grass not being greener on the fake side, but still in those DMs, they be wanting to slide. Pride and ego got them repeating cycles, going back to training wheels on their little boy bicycles. Becoming a man got different definitions. For most, becoming a king is a premonition, an unpleasant walk with God. So their heads they nod. They exchange salvation for a facade, no comfort in the rod. Instead, they settle for thorns, hurting real bad, so the truth they scorn, feeling pricked by honesty, wanting the devil's pie because it seems more tasty, not palatable manna from heaven that keeps you full. So you ride all night on a worn-out bull, diving into a den, an abyss unknown, turning your back on your royal throne. Sickness invades your home because you let it in, keeping yourself from victories, thinking you'll never win. You had a coach by your side, giving you strategy, providing good plays, but you denounced it for lethargy. Energy low and not feeling the day. Not up for going out, so your beard is turning gray. Aging earlier than you expected. Can't take it no more, so your car, you crashed it. Your body's totaled, feeling beyond repair. Hate looking at yourself, now you have no hair. Shaving it bald is the only way. Can't be a part of the beard gang, now you ain't got nothing to say. You were filled with laughter just yesterday, it seems. Now, like Biggie, it was all a dream. Hopelessness has filled your cup, not knowing your strength, not knowing that your strength comes when you choose to look up. Giving up is not what your ancestors gave. They died for you not to be enslaved to any system of a down. You are not their clown, a circus for your earthly abode, not knowing yourself, so you took on lies they told, sold to an untruth from birth to throughout your entire youth, even unto supposed manhood, never wanting you to come from amongst them as you should. You have the ultimate power to turn your whole world around, accepting who you are, wearing proudly your crown. You've been given visions that are filled with golden paths, silky smooth skin using the ocean as your bath, shea butter for your body, baking soda for your teeth, my warm body taking you to every climax you reach. I don't preach to the congregation, only to you, one divine man to my tried and true. I'm not just here to please, but also to teach. That's why I'm so careful with my chosen speech. The vernacular I use to reach your soul, I want my knowledge to spread to your toes, to get under your bones and penetrate your being. Rise, my wounded warrior, and live a life more freeing. The shackles that suffocated your hands and throat, lies and deception which made you choke. Let me stroke your mind and ease you of your pain. Forsake the life of miserable disdain. Let love reign upon your dry land. Let's travel the world, relax our feet in warm sand. Under the sun to get recharged. Release the worldly toxic mirage. Let us camouflage as one. Devote ourselves to a shared destiny. Create new ways within our divine chemistry. A connection most needed, most wanted, most deserved. I want to give you all that I kept on reserve. I preserve myself for this type of exchange. My left finger is empty, awaiting the rain. Thank you.
All right. Wow. Wow. Like I said, it's so heartfelt. I can feel every word. You know what I mean? I can feel every word. It's something about your tone and the way that you present it and put it out there. It's just absolutely amazing. You've always been one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you. This last piece here is actually called Here. So this piece just again came from the pandemic where we are. I mean, it's such a interesting time for the artist. The creative is
right.
So much comes out of tragedy for the artist, and I'm glad that I was riding the wave. I'm glad it came to me. But this piece right here is specifically about the pandemic and sort of what was birthed out of it, sort of what maybe were the sensations or feelings or thoughts that most people actually dealt with, and just the tragedy that we were actually witnessing through the media. So again, this piece is called Here. We have seen a wasteland of transition bodies. We have witnessed eyesores that strike the nerve. We have been coiled tightly by endless tragedies. Yet there are still some who decide to serve. We have melted away each day. We have folded on ourselves each week. Yet with all the continuous hardships, we still choose to search and speak. We mumble a distant cry. We pant while we complain. We have to express our brokenness, or else we'll be soiled by shame. Out of ruts and black laymen slain, not connected to a cord that was built, we gather pieces of seemingly new stories, with some determined not to see us wilt. Withering and slithering, we didn't quite land on our feet, but there has been some noteworthy change amidst the dampest and coldest defeats. There was inward powers that emerged. There was true strength that had its time to shine. Resilience came in abundance. It was evenly yours and mine. There was spiritual transcendence that happened. It began and awaited new trial. Once neglectful and uncaring, we banished the enemy called denial. We filed in line in the direction of nothingness to discover that there was something there. Some have traveled to lands unheard of, never thought of, or ever dared. While uniting in the pits of hell, we heard the heavens tune. You are protected. Fight the good fight. You are surviving this treacherous monsoon. It's a constant war outside of self. So make contact with the truth within. Most have learned that outward bearings got in the way of their internal friend. We can make the relationship personal with the you that was called by name. Or you can listen to the redundant mutterings that have always sounded the same. It's not about holding on. It's always about letting go of what causes even more sufferings. It's about the parts that we do not show. You see them, however. So it's eternally up to you. Bare your bones. Keep getting naked. What more are you willing to do? Joy is forever fragile. Peace is undoubtedly frail. Comfort is scarce. Freedom lives within perspective. But love rests in your inhale. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chantia. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me. I love that you're doing this. I love that this is some place that we can come, another safe place, to come together, to, share, and to hopefully make an impact, on the hearts, that are sitting at home, that are doubting, that are questioning whether it's time to start something or not, feeling guilty about, like for me, I feel like I've been given so much gold, right now, but it's something for me to give. And so I'm hoping to, inspire others to give as well, because I do believe that when there's nothing left to do, I think that we can serve each other, and get filled up again. I think that's what replenishes us all. So I'm really appreciative for being able to be on, John, and I'm so happy that this is happening.
Thank you so much, Chantia. You're so deep. I really love it. I really love it. I tell you. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you, sis. I'm sure I'll have you back on again. I got to get the whole family together for one real big open mic or something. You know what I mean?
That was wonderful.
But I definitely appreciate you. I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you so much for coming on. You be safe out here, sis.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Okay.
Wow. That was my sister in poetry, Chantia Jackson. I told y'all this show was going to be. Hey, Van, what's going on? Van, so happy green. I told you it was going to be. It was going to be a good show. She's deep, as you see. She's very deep. I don't know. I mean, after that, I tell you, I love what she does, though. Not only is she a good storyteller, she's a poet, everything. So, Van, so happy. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. John, I need to get your book. Okay. I thought if you don't have a book, do you? I got you. I'm gonna send you one. I'll inbox you after the show or something. Okay, so with this being Black History Month, I wanted to I'm sorry. I wanted to share with you all some poets that you may not even know about. You know what I mean? Poetry and spoken word is something that is it's a form of expression, basically. And to different poets and different speakers, I believe it means different things as we're all different. But I wanted to share with you guys some Black poets that date back as early as, like I said, 1711. And I'll tell you who that 1711 poet is in just a minute. Okay. Now, my personal favorite poet is Langston Hughes. All right. Langston Hughes was a wonderful poet. He had a wonderful, the thing I like about him the most is his story. I read about his story. He went through a lot in his time, and he traveled a lot. And it seems like all he did was right. He wrote a wonderful poem called I've Known Rivers. When he was in his travels, he used to work on boats doing different things. Also, let me see. Langston Hughes is one of my favorites, definitely. Maya Angelou is another one of my favorites. My top three: Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, and Nikki Giovanni. I love all three of those. I love their different styles and the way that they are. But I also want to share with you all some poets that you may not know about. Some I'm sure you will hear that you do know, or may be familiar with, but some you may not. Okay. Like I said, Langston Hughes. All right. Then we have James Baldwin, Maya Angelou, of course, Gwendolyn Brooks, James A. Emanuel. Now, I want you to look these people up too. James A. Emanuel, June Jordan, Gil Scott Heron, another one of my favorites. I believe Gil Scott Heron's got a lot to do with the I don't know, a lot of hip hop guys and a lot of rappers love Gil Scott Heron. He's very deep, He's an awesome poet. I saw he has a daughter that does poetry too. I saw her a few years back do some poetry at an art gallery, and it was just so inspiring. It was amazing. She's a wonderful poet, just like her dad was. Okay, so Paul Lawrence, Phyllis Wheatley, Audre Lorde, Lucille Clinton, Robert Hayden, Claude McKay, and Jupiter Hammond. Now, Jupiter Hammond is a special poet because Jupiter Hammond was the first Black published poet, the very first Black published poet. Jupiter Hammond. You don't believe me? Look it up. I'm not going to say it out of my mouth if it's not a fact. I do my research. Jupiter Hammond is the first Black published poet, okay? And this was done in October 1711. October 1711. the first Black poet to publish some literature. This was published in October of 1711. October 17th, actually. October 17th, 1711. Look it up. Jupiter Hammond. Great poetry. Langston Hughes is another one. Like I said, just he had like a rhythm, with the way that he did his poetry. Langston spent a lot of time in Harlem, in the clubs and things like that, vibing with different musicians and stuff like that. So a lot of his poetry was almost like rhythmic, really. It was almost rhythmic. You could put some of it to music. But he was a wonderful poet who went through a lot in his time. And to me, just to stay focused, back, you talking in the 1920s, to stay focused with all of the racism and craziness I'm sure that he endured in his life, to stay focused and continue to write, that may be therapy for him like it is for me. It definitely helps me. It definitely is therapy for me when I write. I have to write. If I don't, I don't even feel right. That rhymed, don't it? If I have to write, because if I don't, I don't. Anyway, I'm gonna write that down later. But so look, let me share a couple poems from Spitfire Poetry One. I shared a few last time on the last show. Look at that glare. That's beautiful, isn't it? I love light. I shared a few on the last show. I just wanted to share a few more. Before we get to that, we got to pay some bills. Let's say, excuse me. I want to say thank you to LadyJ and Eric for their amazing platform on Buddafly Entertainment. Look out and check for What Up Baltimore online radio. Please follow that. There's a lot of wonderful information on there. There's a plethora of wonderful shows, and a lot of good information on there. And when there's not any shows on, then you can listen to some good music. All right. So What Up Baltimore online radio. Check that out. Definitely. Okay. Now, let's get into some of my stuff in this first book. Again, if you didn't see my first show, I always put in all of my poetry books why I write. There's a page in each book in the beginning that explains why I write, basically just cut and dry why I do put pen to paper. All right. So I'm going to share that with you right now. Why I write. I write for the people who cannot express themselves. I write for the people without a voice. I write for the dreamers. I write for those who can't quit, even if they wanted to. I write for our future leaders. I write for our non-believers. I write to motivate and encourage people to press their way through. That is why I write. That is why I write. All right. I want you all to make sure that you look up some of those poets that I was reading out to you. Some wonderful stuff. Maya Angelou, one of her favorite poems of mine is Why I Rise. I'm sorry. Still I Rise. Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. It's timeless. Absolutely timeless, really. It's the most, it's very inspiring. I listen to it often, every now and then, Gil Scott Hearn is another one. Like I said, he's very, very good. Let me see. I'm feeling like sharing something. I hope I can remember this. I'm feeling like sharing something that I actually wrote. I want to say like right when the pandemic started, and then when we were on the lockdown, when everything was locked down. When I was writing one day, I jotted down a few things, and it was just a lot of my poetry is how I'm feeling, or there's very few where I do poetry where I may be using my imagination for something, or make speaking of something fiction or nonfiction rather. And most of my stuff is just feeling from me, because I feel as though that's poetry, honestly. That straight, and you gotta, it makes you want people to feel it. So anyway, I had a poem that I wrote called Quarantine. called Quarantine. We were locked down and it was boring, and which honestly to me wasn't so much of a bad idea. I mean, a bad thing, because I don't mind being chill in the house sometimes. So with that being said, I want to recite this poem for you. It's called Quarantine. Quarantine trying my patience. That's a true understatement. That shit's running short like a fat ass dude on a basketball court. My kids eating up all the goddamn food they saying depressing shit on the news. Got my mama worried and confused. She hits my phone in a hurry whenever she hears something new. Lord, help her find something to do. My 8-year-old is up till 4 a.m. This mess has got to end. What you gonna do when Hogan runs down on you with an 8 p.m. curfew? Get all the essentials. I write with pens, not pencils, so it can't be erased. I learned from my mistakes. Tired of containment, I walk from my bedroom to my basement, spending time in every room. What else is there to do? Barbershops closed and hair salons too. And your lady tries to line up your fade. Just stop it. And she looks like she stuck a finger in a socket. Her hairdo was whack. Got to put on a hat. If my kids ask me for another snack, I think I may snap. My wife, she got to chill with this criminal. If I hear the word unsub one more time, my wife, she has to chill with this criminal minds. Episode after episode, how many series they got? I'm going to unplug this Fire Stick and turn off this Wi-Fi. That was Quarantine. That's something that I wrote. I was sitting on my patio and just putting things together. I'm trying to figure out what the hell we were doing. All we was doing was just, even in the middle of what was going on, it was still unbelievable. So, with that being said, like I said, this is Black History Month. I love this month. I think it should be celebrated more. We should be. Let me encourage you to speak with your children about our history and look things up with them, speak with them about our history and different people and things that they've done. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of children out here who do know some of our history, but unfortunately, there's a lot that also have no clue of who. If you go and ask them who Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, they have no idea who you're talking about. And it's sad, but we have to be there for our young people. We have to help them. We have to guide them. We have to encourage them, because I'm sure all of them want to do better. Nobody wants to do bad. Come on. Everybody wants to do better, right? I know I do. I definitely want to do better. So let me share a poem with y'all that I wrote called Gotta Be the Last Days. Gotta Be the Last Days. You can find this in Spitfire Poetry Shutdown Volume 1. Like I said, you can get the links on any of my social media pages, mine and my wife's page. I have a Spitfire Poetry Shutdown Volume 2 that will be out just in a few short weeks. Shout out to Angela Edwards over at Pearly Gates Publishing. Thank you for all that you do. All right, now let's get into this. Gotta Be the Last Days. Let me get some water because I don't want to be dry. My wife would be texting me, drink some water. All right, thank you, honey. Check out our show too, Unusual Favor. My wife and myself, we have a show called Unusual Favor. Check us out next Wednesday from 7 to 8, actually, right here on What Up Baltimore. Gotta be the last days. It's gotta be the last days when our children walk the street in a daze and they feel there's no hope in their ways. Instead of prayer and glorious days, they run to the corner. They got to get paid. It's got to be the last days when division is among us, just to create a ruckus and to make us choose sides and attempt to keep us in divide. But we must override. Raise your head. Keep your stride. It's got to be our last days when you find yourself looking in the mirror and it doesn't get any clearer. And you can hear a little voice in your ear saying that the end is near. It's got to be the last days when the president tweets and always wants beef. There's no relief and he needs to be impeached. It's got to be the last days when you don't raise your children. You're fresh and they're not. What happened to the kids coming first? Don't you know their worth? It's got to be the last days when everyone is so sensitive over just about anything. They don't even want a ring, just supply all their needs. It's got to be the last days when the only real thing holy is your shirt and it's dirty. Because of money you owe me, you tiptoe slowly. It's got to be the last days. You say why? Because it's over. That was got to be the last days. Well, I remember when I wrote that too. I wrote that in my house, in my laundry room in the basement. Back then we had a different president. I'm not even going to speak on that. So now the next poem I want to read to you guys before I let you go soon. Let me see. Like I said, thank you all for always supporting me. I really appreciate it, you guys. It's really good. You know, I really do appreciate it. And every month I'm giving away 2 books to people on either my Instagram page or my Facebook page. You know, there's a lot of friends and people that I've known all my life and people that I've just met who've been supporting me and sharing my poetry videos and buying my books and things of that nature. And I truly, truly appreciate you. I really do, man. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. This one I'm going to share with you guys is called A Feeling in My Gut. A feeling in my gut, I can't explain it. I encourage myself and remember I made it. Some couldn't take it. Only a chosen few can endure like I do. I put on a face and mask it with a smile. But really the sad clown is the feeling I have inside. Struggling day to day, nobody knows your pain. You hide what you go through, your skin still black and blue from the way that they left you. In an unfamiliar place. What the devil meant for evil in a tight space was somewhere for me to go and create. God rushed my brain with all kinds of things, so I grabbed my pen and started to begin my healing process. Without it, I'm a mess. I put it all on paper, going in like a caper, holding nothing back, carefully planning my attack. Straight to the body, wham down, he's all ours. Take the head off the shoulders, send it to Mars. A feeling in my gut, I can't explain it. Woke up this morning, depression just washed over me. Dropped the kids off at school, then I felt lonely, so I walked my dog. When I talk, he just listens. There is no back talk. Following orders is his mission. After my morning walk, I felt a spark of ideas, so I pulled on the flame. I hit straight to the brain. Words started bouncing around. I couldn't control the sounds as they rained down on me. No rain jacket. Turned it up loud. I wanted to feel it all on me. In an unfamiliar place again, but this time I brought my pen. It's sort of like my GPS with all sorts of routes to get me to my destination. My pen is my staff. I use it without a mask. I commit a crime with no remorse, drag the bodies to the morgue, and then double back for more. I feel it in my gut. I can't explain it. I look in the mirror and remember I made it. That is a feeling in my gut. What time we got there? We got just a little bit more time. Now, also a lot of my poetry too. I like to encourage people and push them. And honestly, that all started because I was encouraged and pushing myself by writing. You know, I have books and books of stuff I just put on paper. You know, some of it makes sense. Some of it I started and didn't finish. That's another thing. When you start something, just finish it. You know, start something, try your best to finish it. I have a bunch that I didn't finish that I need to really go back and finish. But I like to write about that because, you know, like I said, it was therapy for myself to encourage myself, you know, to write was something that made me feel great, you know, still does to this day. I love this. I love doing this. I love doing the open mics, you know. The next show will be on the 17th. Tune in for that because I may have a few of my family from Spitfire on there. I'm putting y'all on the spot if y'all see me. Come on out. I love y'all, man. I got some great poets that help me. You know, they don't even realize how much they really helped me build this platform when I started way back then. You know, I really love you guys and appreciate you guys. So let's go into this poem. This is called A New Day. Let's inspire somebody, all right? A new day. It's a new day. I've seen many things, but none just the same. A new day brings change when you think of it, but none just the same. It's a new day, I hear, but don't shed a tear. It's a new day. That fear went away. What you don't do today is for a new day. A new way of thinking instead of your mind stinking of thoughts of yesterday, because tomorrow's a new day. Fresh opportunities, the pressure let loose in me. I'm not for the scrutiny. A new day, I do believe, is a chance to make it right. When a bird takes flight and spreads its wings, a new day brings beautiful springs, sunlight that beams and heats up your skin. A new day brings things unseen and put in perspective. This is not just a message, somebody might end it. Being suspended in space, they gave up their race. A new day, a new space to go and create another way. A new day can bring so much change. Don't give up today, for tomorrow is a new day. What a difference it makes. A new day is no mistake. Shout out to the people who are dealing with anxiety and depression. My heart goes out to you, and you have to just talk to somebody. See if you can find somebody to talk to. You know, depression and mental illness is absolutely real. It is very real, and there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with that, and especially right now with the conditions that we're under. You know, a lot of people are very, very depressed. You know, marriages are falling apart. People are actually committing suicide. You know, killing themselves. So. You know, try your best to check on your friends and family you haven't talked to in a while. Call that neighbor, see how you doing. You ain't seen him in a while. Knock on the door. You know, well, don't knock on the door because you don't want to touch, I guess. But just call them, say how you doing. You know, check on your friends and family. You know, we need each other. We all need each other. You know, and that's the only way we're going to get through this is if we do it and we stick together. You know, we definitely have to stick together. I'm going to read another poem with you guys called Clean Getaway. Let me get ready to close. God, the time goes so fast. All right, Clean Getaway. See, when I'm doing something that I love, the time just flies. That's how it's supposed to be, all right? When you do something you love, you're supposed to. All right, so Clean Getaway. Clean getaway. You thought you had me, but he wouldn't let me stay. A clean getaway, that's what they would say. Take it day by day. Make sure that you pray. Don't give it away, telling this one and that one. They can't make it happen. Look at your man. He's you were full of sin. Now he's bringing you in. Gave you a pen to dismantle Satan's whole castle. He came after me when I couldn't see. Took bleed, but the blood covered me. I still can't believe he's getting a message through a Negro. There must be a reason he came back for me, and my enemies didn't rejoice over me. Don't believe amongst two or three, is that all that you need? Got away with such speed, quick indeed the devil can be, slick in his ways, but don't be afraid, you cannot be strayed. Stay focused on him. That's the way that you win. Go help a friend who's come to a bend in the road. From a toad to a frog, I got away, now I'm gone, never to return. The sun creates burns, but hell is where you burn. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. You know, we got time for one quick. I can't let it go. One quick one. That's a poem that I wrote not too long ago too. Oh, and that's another thing. Check out my Instagram pages. John Hansboro on Instagram, Spitfire Poetry on Instagram, also on Facebook. Spitfire Poetry, and John Hansboro on Facebook. I'm all, most of the time throughout the month, I drop a few poems that I have created. I just put it out there to see if anybody bites, see how if it affects anybody, if anybody feels something. Sometimes I get good reactions too, and I really appreciate that, like I said. So let's go with this one last one before we get out of here. This is called Fraud. Hocus pocus, stay focused on your task at hand. Forget the middleman. Everyone's with you when they feel you on top. Make a decision they don't like, and for some reason, something about you ain't right. Give me your money and I'll sell you some words. Would you believe it if the shit sounds absurd? Go read my story before you pass judgment. The bullshit I lived through hit me in abundance. But I'm going to pray for you, fam, because together we stand. And I'll keep your secrets. I won't advertise your shit on a newsstand. You let me down, but I adjusted my crown. Did what I had to do to keep my spirit from going down. My jacket's full of bullets and darts sent from a clown. I keep my armor polished. I know how y'all get down. But it's no turning back now, so share your thoughts with God. I assure you, he's no fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for coming out and joining me, tuning in tonight. I want everyone, please be safe out there. Love on your people, love on yourself. Do something for yourself. Encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Look up for my book, Unusual Favor on Amazon, and Spitfire Poetry on Amazon. Check those out. Spitfire Poetry 2. Look out for that. It's coming very soon. Thank you to Buddafly Entertainment, LadyJ, and her wonderful son, Eric. Thank y'all for what you do. Check out me and my wife next week on the 10th. We'll be doing the Unusual Favor show. I believe this is episode number 3. So look out for that. And the next time you see me for Spitfire will be on the 17th. So with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting me and being in my corner. It really feels good. You guys have no idea how encouraging it is to see us all come together on some things, because we definitely got enough stuff dividing us. So love on somebody, love yourself, self-care, be good to yourself. Take those vitamins and those things that keep your immune system up, man. Definitely keep your immune system up. All right. Love you guys. Y'all have a good night. Later.
Hey, thank you for joining Spitfire Poetry with your boy, John Hansboro. And make sure you join him again right here on this station, What Up Baltimore Online Radio.